Hey everybody, it's Miss Painter here, and I'm going to review Main Idea with you today. So I want to remind you that main idea is what the text is mostly about. Okay? And I know throughout the school year, some of you have gotten that confused with the subject. So the subject is just the topic being discussed in the text. So we already know the subject of this text, if you see the title, is going to be seeds and plants. But we are going to be looking for the main idea, which is what the text is mostly about. Another thing that sometimes we get confused is the difference between a main idea and a detail. A detail is a small part of the text that gives support or evidence for the main idea. Okay? So I'm going to read to you From Seed to Plant by Gail Gibbons, and we are going to look for the main idea. From Seed to Plant by Gail Gibbons. From Seed to Plant. Most plants make seeds. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. And here on this page, you see some different types of plants. We see a tomato plant here, squash plant, a violet, a tulip, a daisy, a rose, pea, buttercup, and corn. Okay, and I have some daisies here, and a rose here, and there's other flowers in my yard as well. Many plants grow flowers. Flowers are where most seeds begin. A flower is made up of many parts. So here are some flowers on this page. We have an apple tree, a zinnia, a dandelion, and an aster. And then on this page it talks about the different parts of the flower. You can see the petal, the stamens, the pistil, the stem, and the sepal. Before a seed can begin to grow, a grain of pollen from the stamen must land on the stigma at the top of the pistil of a flower like itself. This is called pollination. Pollination happens in different ways. Often wind blows pollen from flower to flower. Bees, other insects, and hummingbirds help pollinate too. While they visit flowers for their sweet juice called nectar, pollen rubs onto their bodies. So here's a bee getting some pollen and a hummingbird. Okay, and you see the stigma there where the pollen is. Then they carry the pollen to another flower where it comes off onto its pistil. If a pollen grain from a flower lands on the pistil of the same kind of flower, it grows a long tube through the pistil into an ovule. This is the beginning of a seed. Look at there, you can see the beginning of a seed. The seeds grow inside the flower. Even as the flower begins to die, the seeds become bigger. A fruit or pod grows around them. The fruit or pod protects the seeds. Some pods or fruits open and the seeds pop out. Sometimes when birds eat berries, they drop the seeds. Other seeds fall into streams, ponds, rivers, or the ocean. There they travel on the water until they stick to dirt along the shore. The wind scattered seeds. Some seeds have fluff on them that lets them float to the ground like tiny parachutes. Others have wings that spin as they fall. Animals help scatter seeds too. They hide acorns and nuts in the ground. Some seeds have hooks that stick to the fur of animals or people's clothes. Later, they drop off onto the ground. A flower bed or vegetable garden is beautiful. Seeds are planted to grow in the gardens. The seeds come in small envelopes or boxes. Directions explain how to plant the seeds and care for the plants. The beginning of a plant is curled up inside each seed. Food is stored inside the seed too. The seed has a seed coat outside to protect it. So here's the food and here's the seed coat. Here's the beginning of a new plant. A seed will not sprout until certain things happen. First, it must be on or in the soil. Then it needs rain to soak the seed and soften its seed coat. When the sun shines and warms the ground, the seed coat breaks open and the seed begins to grow. This is called germination. A root grows down into the soil. The root takes in water and minerals from the soil for food. Up grows a shoot. Green leaves grow up from the shoot toward the sun. And there you can see the shoot and the leaves. The plant grows bigger and bigger. The leaves make food for the plant from the water and minerals in the soil, the sunlight, and the air all around the plant. Finally, the plant is full grown. Buds on the plant open into flowers where new seeds will grow. Many of the foods people eat are seeds, fruits, and pods. They are full of nutrition, vitamins, and minerals, and they are tasty too. And here is a project that you can do at home to go from seed to plants. And then in the back, there's a glossary of some more information. All right, so let's talk about the main idea. Sometimes the main idea can be found at the beginning. So let's look back at the beginning of the book. It says most plants make seeds. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. Sometimes the main idea might be at the end of the book. Many of the foods people eat are seeds, fruits, and pods. They are full of nutrition, vitamins, and minerals, and they are tasty too. But then we need to think about what sort of words were repeated throughout the story. And they didn't really talk about food very much, so I don't think the main idea is at the end of the book. They talked a lot about seeds and plants and flowers, so I think the main idea is going to have something to do with that. So I'll look back at the beginning. I'm going to read a little bit. Most plants make seeds. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. Seeds are different shapes, sizes, and colors. All seeds grow into the same kind of plant that made them. Many plants grow flowers. Flowers are where most seeds begin. A flower is made up of many parts. Before a seed can begin to grow, a grain of pollen from the stamen must land on the stigma at the top of the pistil of a flower like itself. This is called pollination. So I'm going to think about the beginning, and I'm going to kind of say that I think the main idea of this story, and we'll see if you guys agree, is that seeds make plants, and many plants have flowers, and for this to happen, pollination has to take place. Okay, so I think that is the main idea. There are lots of details that support what I think is the main idea. Okay, so here's a detail. A seed contains the beginning of a new plant. Here's another detail. Pollination happens in different ways. This whole page is details about how pollination takes place. So there's lots of details in the book to support the main idea that seeds make plants and many plants have flowers, and for this to take place there has to be pollination. It's actually, this whole book is about the life cycle, right? From seed to plant. So the main idea could also be plants have a life cycle that start with seeds and end as a plant and keeps going and going and going. All right, everybody, I hope you have a good rest of your week. See you later.